All right, we're ready for our farming simulator live stream here. Get everything turned on. The game's loading up right now, so I will turn that on in just a moment. Yeah, continuing our Elmcreek run here in the home stretch. We're just trying to make it to that $1 million mark, and we're not too far away. Come on, game. Let's load up. There we go. Let's turn the camera. All right, so game is loaded. And what were we doing? Oh, yeah, so we were working on some herbiciding and fertilizer over there. That's what we got both these tractors out there for. So let's go ahead and keep that going. You are the fertilizer guy. Let's get you rolling here. We'll get the herbicide going here in just a minute. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for anybody who is joining either live or on the VOD. I appreciate all of you. And hopefully we can have a fun end to this series. We're very, very close to the end here. Plan was to get to making cakes and then make $1 million while we're making cakes. So we're not doing too bad. We're about 400,000 bucks, so probably 2 more years of in-game time, which probably means it won't end this stream, but I would not be surprised if it ends next stream. It's pretty close to it or something like that. All right, so you're going. Let's see, what do we got on the herbicide side of things? Let's see. We just got to do this bottom field down here. Okay. Volume's a little bit low. Turn that up. Almost out of herbicide finally. This thing's lasted us a long time though. That's the thing with the one good thing about the precision farming stuff is that the way that they scatter the weeds out there, you just use very little herbicide over the course of the game. I'm gonna let that guy get another loop here, and then we'll start this guy up. Just don't want to get in his way. And our herbicide is a little bit wider, I believe, than the fertilizer guy. We do the little bit on the end here, and then we'll get over to this middle field, and I think that's all the fertilizer we got to do. We've done lime recently. I probably need to check the lime here in a bit. One of those things that it's easy to forget about because it just doesn't come up very often. My face cam is frozen? Okay, let me turn it off and turn it back on here in just a second. Frozen in a very funny face too. I see that now. Get this guy on his merry way, and then I can fix that. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta unplug it, plug it back in. Easy, easy. I use one of the little dongle things for the camera itself. Like the game is plugged into a card. It's a capture card on the computer, but the camera is plugged into like a little external dongle that plugs into the USB. And every once in a while, for some reason, it just kind of just freezes up if I don't have it. I think I was unplugging everything and plugging it back in. I think I just plugged it into a wrong USB port. Some of the USB ports seem to be okay, and some of them seem to like freeze up every once in a while. And I think it might just be like a speed thing, whether I'm using the normal USB or one of the higher speed USB ports. Something like that. I don't know. Hopefully it works now. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, that is that. Looks like we are completely done with herbicide. Do we have more herbicide already? I think if we do, it's going to be over here on the other side of these trees. Check that real quick. Is that herbicide right there? Apparently it is. Honestly, like I said, we don't need much. This amount right here probably will last us the rest of this save, because we're only going to be herbiciding a couple more times before we get to that $1 million goal. Let me just run over here real quick. Check the fields for lime. No, we're good there. I thought we'd done it recently, but I'll be honest. When I play both this game and the offline save for Zelanka, I forget which map I've run lime on most recently, because I know I've done lime on the Zelanka run very recently, and I just don't remember if I couldn't remember if I did it on here as well. All right, how you doing, my friend? I mean, you got like no fertilizer left, but yeah, I see this little bit here. Probably gonna need to go fill it back up again to get the last little bits. Yep, that's fine. I know we had some more fertilizer over there as well. Not a lot of fertilizer. We probably will need more fertilizer before the end of the run. We typically use more fertilizer in a given year than we do herbicide. All right, so this field, we just need this little bit at the end. Same with the other field. I don't know how much less fertilizer we're using because we put digesta down, but be one of those things that'd be interesting to do the math on at some point. I'd have to go back and look at how much we did, the last time we did these fields, and then compare it to this time with digested. The problem with that is that last time we did these fields, we weren't using sorghum, so, right? Oh, this is our first sorghum? Or is this our second sorghum? I can't remember. It's been a while since we did sorghum at the very beginning of the run, but I don't think we've done it recently, so we'd have to take that into account as well. All right, just this little tiny bit up here, and we are done with fertilizing and herbiciding finally. All right, it is May. We'll have to check the cows here in a second. Nothing to do with the grass fields at the moment. Well, actually, I should probably make sure I fertilize those. Because, yeah. Yep, okay. So that is all good. Let's see. Cows are... Chickens are okay. Cows are... They're okay for one more month. A little bit high on the slurry. But we could probably empty that out next month as well. Milk's a little high as well. So probably just need to do a lot of stuff next month. Kind of clean up the cows a bit. I'm looking on the cakes. I just want to make sure those don't overflow. Okay again for about another month as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff to do probably next month. But I think we're okay for right now. Cool. All right. Let you go. And let's fast forward. We already got a bunch of food there, so that'll be helpful next month to feed the cows. Kind of looking forward to getting ready, getting to the next live stream run. I mean, I'm a little nervous because, again, my plan currently is to do lumber. There is a key missing on my keyboard. I have a strange suspicion that my wife came in here and stole my key just to be goofy. Okay. Whatever. I'll find it later. Oh no, we filled up on the chickens. That's the one thing I didn't check. I checked everything else. Oh well, that's alright. I checked the cows, checked the cakes, but I did not check the eggs. We had the thing sitting here waiting for it too. There you go, chickens. Sorry about that. Look at the cakes while we got this thing hooked up. When do we actually harvest our sorghum again? August. Okay. I love these bakeries. I think they look really cool. The one bad thing is it takes forever to get the outputs set up because it's just 2 at a time. Have I seen some of the YouTube videos of the maize corn challenge? I'm not sure what that is. Maize corn challenge. No, I guess, like, obviously I have not. I'm not even familiar with that. Got 1,000 left there. All right. That should be all we need. But while we're waiting for this guy to finish its outputs, let's look this up. Maize corn challenge. Maize millionaire challenge. Is that what we're talking about? $10 years to make $20 million from maize. I find that highly unlikely. Yeah, I don't see that being possible without some sort of gimmick. Yeah, I don't see that being possible without a gimmick, unfortunately. It's mathematically, it just doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, some people, now I'm not saying this person is specifically, but some people do like to put up crazy challenges that are not possible. And then you're like, you find out after they get into it, it's like, okay, yeah. Like, I remember one guy, he put up a set of videos for like, I'm going to make $1 billion in 10 years or something like that. Mathematically not possible. But his videos got lots of views because he put the challenge out there. Even though after 10 years, he'd only made like 100, like he made very little money, right? He hadn't even made $1 million, I don't think, or something crazy like that. It's just, some of those challenges, unfortunately, are just gimmicks. Just to get views. I don't tend to do that. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I should just accept that clickbait is the future of YouTube. But, I don't know. I try to be more honest about things, I guess. I still don't think he can get 10 million in 10 years. I don't think that's going to be possible. Depends on the size of the fields, I guess. And the only way to get that much money off of corn is to do silage. So I do know that you can get a lot of money off of silage from corn because I have done that before. I've gotten to the point where I've gotten enough money off of silage where I was making like $1 million a year. So yeah, 10 years, 10 million bucks, sure. But there's a lot of setup to get to that point, and you have to have a lot of fields to get to that point. So if you're starting from like what you said, 2 fields, start with 2 fields, and yeah, I don't, again, it depends on the size of the fields. I just don't see how that's possible. But people will watch to see it, and then when he gets to the end and it reveals that it's not possible, then it doesn't matter because he already got all the views. It's all about getting views. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's the YouTube we live in. Thought about doing something similar to that, but like in reverse. I can lose $20 million in Farming Simulator in 10 years. And You know, instead of making $20 million, just do something to make fun of the people that do those types of videos. And then just do something really stupid to lose $20 million. Like run workers all over the place nonstop and just let it run. Oh, there goes $20 million. I did it. I don't know. A lot of milk, which is good. It's going to give us a lot of butter to sell. Just even more money. We still selling butter, or are we currently distributing it? We must be selling it because the butter is a little bit low on the bakeries at the moment. So maybe we distribute it for a little bit just to get those filled back up again. Oh. Alright, let's get the last of the milk, get the food, we'll get in the TMR, and then we'll have to pick up some slurry as well. Alright, good stuff. That's all the milk. That's the TMR. It'll get us through another month. And then next month we'll probably drop off some straw and some more TMR. So that all looks good. Then all we got left is to drop off some slurry. Which I was gonna say, is it over here or is it over by the other thing? It is right there. As soon as we can empty out our food for the chickens, which we might be able to do now. We'll obviously drop off some manure as well. Or is it already empty? It might already be empty. Since it's over here, it must be. Honestly, the only way I would be able to do a video like that, where I said I made $10 million in 10 years, something like that, is that I would have to pre-record every video and prove that I got to the end and did it. and then I would put it up, because I wouldn't be able to put it up if I thought there was a larger chance that it wouldn't finish, right? If it was just impossible, right? Then it just doesn't, it goes against my beliefs to lie to people. So that means if you ever see a video like that on my channel, it means I did it. I finished it. Spoiler alert. If you see it from episode 1, you already know that I completed it, because I will not put it up there. Or at least I got very close. Like if I say it and then I got to like 9 million in 10 years instead of 10 mil, and it was like that close, we were so close, maybe I still show it. But if I did it and it was like 2 mil after 10 years, I'm really like, okay, guys, it was not possible. I'm not even going to waste your time and your intelligence by putting that video up. Or I would have just adjusted the numbers and be like, okay, realistically, it took me 30 years to make 10 million bucks or whatever, might be. See how much slower we got. We still got probably 3 more loads. All right, we'll get you dropped off. Looks like 1 more load, and then we'll be good. All right, we'll get this dropped off, then we'll pick up, like I said, a load of manure, and then I think that'll be it for June. July, obviously, we'll be going back to mowing again. Hey, Sanjay, how's it going? And yeah, thanks for joining from India. It's what? 9 o'clock? 8 o'clock in the morning? Something like that, India time? I know it's like 12.5 hours difference, 11.5 hours, something like that. I forget with daylight savings time what it is, but it's like 12.5 hours difference, I think, from Central Time in the United States. $7 a.m., okay. So it is 11.5 hours difference from where I'm at right now. Perfect. Does India have, I mean, I'm assuming because it's pretty big, does India have more than one time zone? Or is it a single time zone? Only one, really? Okay. I mean, I guess there's a lot of people, but I guess width-wise, India is... still, I would think it would be wide enough to warrant a second one, but... I could see, like, the entire country choosing to stay under one time zone, because honestly, to be fair, a single time zone is much simpler. If your country can get by with it, I would imagine it is, it makes a lot of things easier. The US is just way too big. Very wide. I mean, the time zones aren't that bad. I can get used to time zones, obviously. And people do get used to them, and they kind of just deal with it. Daylight savings time is the thing that should go away. That's the thing that we got to get rid of. I can accept that I'm X amount of time different from, you know, the rest of the world and get used to that. But when, not only when daylight savings time exists, but when it's different for every country, right? Different countries have different daylight savings time throughout the year. So like for a few months, you're like only, you know, 7 hours difference from the UK. And then after a few months, they have their daylight saving, and it's just weird. I don't get it. Time to move on from that, I think. All right. Let's see. How are we doing on water? I haven't checked water in a while. Water's doing good. Butter's doing good. Still distributing. Are we full now? We are not quite full. We got to wait another month. Slurry, and we're not going to drop the manure yet. We'll get that filled up here in a moment. Cool. And then what did I say? August for harvest of the sorghum? August. Oh, yeah. I mean, it makes sense that if you're on the eastern side of India, you know, your 7 o'clock in the morning is going to be a lot brighter than the people on the west coast, right? So when you have only one time zone, you just run the risk of a little bit of a different view on like where the sun's at in the sky at, you know, in the mornings and in the evenings especially. But I think you get used to it, right? Like it's just something to get used to. It's the same thing with the time zones in the United States, I suppose. If you're on the eastern edge of a time zone in the United States, it's going to look brighter than it would be on the western side. From the south. Okay, there you go. So you're right. You're like right in the middle almost. Alrighty, July, time to mow. A little near to the edge of the India. Gotcha. I actually work with quite a few people from India on a regular basis. But they work U.S. hours, usually. We're pretty close to it. So basically they're working their nights, right? Which, you know, I guess that works. If you're used to working nighttime, you know, you just get the hang of it. You just do all the stuff, you know, you got to do during the morning, and then you go to work at night, and then you go to bed probably at the same time. So I can definitely see how it would work. Okay, so we need to do cow stuff. Starting with some straw. I'm actually more of a night person anyway, so I could probably work a night shift of my job easier than I do the morning shifts. And I say shifts, it's not really a shift, because I work, you know, I'm a software engineer, but if my time was synced up with somebody, you know, if it was my nighttime for somebody else's morning, I actually think that would work good for me. Just not a morning person. Your shift is 12 p.m. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. And then, like I said, I think that works. I mean, you do stuff in the morning, most likely. Or, I mean, I guess you could be somebody who wakes up around 11 o'clock and goes to work. That's fine too, I suppose. But more than likely what you're doing is you're working, you're doing stuff in the morning, 7 to 12 or 8 to 12. That's when you have your free time, and then you just go to work. Yeah, I mean, I can see how that would work as well. Just fine. Gotta say, I love the world that we live in now, in the sense that it's very cool to be able to work with people all over the world, and just, that's normal, right? That's just a normal thing now. It's really cool. Granted, that's only for certain jobs, I suppose. If you're a farmer on a field, you're not. I mean, there's no concept of working with somebody elsewhere because it's a very physical, localized job, right? I mean, the closest you're going to get to that is if we do get to the point, and I think this does exist a little bit, right, where we have the possibility of remote-controlled tractors, right, and things like that, or there's a possibility where the person that's kind of monitoring that tractor, or maintaining the software side of that tractor, lives in a different part of the world, but they're still technically helping you with your job. So I could see that happening. But software, though, software is very easy to do, no matter where you live and what time. Like, it really just doesn't matter what time of the day, where you live, whether you're working from home or in an office. It really just doesn't matter from a software standpoint. Part of the reason why it's hard for me to look for a new job with my current role. Like, it's very convenient to be able to work from home and work kind of slightly flexible hours. I mean, I still work within the hours of when people are going to be online. I still have meetings that I have to attend. But if I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, or if I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning, or whatever, it doesn't really matter as long as I get my work done. India's still not developed technology in farming. Okay. How much farming land is there in India? I don't know. I've never looked. I never looked at the geographical kind of way India is made up. I know there's mountains, obviously, in the northern part of India for sure. There's a lot of jungles in India, right? But I don't know how much farmland do you guys have? All right, cows are happy, and chickens are happy-ish, happy adjacent. Let's go. How are we looking on eggs over here? Obviously, the chickens are eagerly awaiting their food resupply here next month. We probably should pick up some eggs, so let's grab you while that guy's finishing mowing. Is that how much farmland you have? That's actually a pretty good amount. It's good. I mean, farming is one of those things that it's just never going to go away, right? Like, we're never going to be technologically advanced in a way where I can't imagine where we would just not need farming, right? So if your country can kind of do some self-farming, that's always a benefit, right? That's always a good thing. I know there's some countries that farming is very very challenging to do based on their, geography. So they have to rely on other people to supply them with all of their farming needs. I mean, obviously, we know that you can get by without eating meat, right? I mean, plenty of people do. I personally have no intention of ever getting by without eating meat. I enjoy meat and fish and chicken, all that stuff. But you could get by with that, right? It's technically possible. But I don't think you can get by very long. I don't think our lifestyle would be good without vegetables and fruits and things like that. So I think, could I see, ranches and stuff like that where cows are and stuff, and chickens kind of going away at some point? I could see it going away. I hope not, because I love it, but I can see it technically going away. But you're never going to get rid of wheat and corn and rice and stuff like that. It's just, and other vegetables, lettuce and tomatoes and other things like that. We need the grains. We need the other types of foods. Most of the people have farming. That's kind of reducing. Okay. Yeah, your own individual farming. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. That's a good way to do it, too. Obviously, that's how the United States was for a while. There's a lot more individualized farming to take care of your own family. The industrial side of farming obviously didn't really come about until we really got into bigger tractors and stuff. All right, so I guess we won't fill up any more manure right now because we do need to save this trailer for picking up sorghum next month. Oh, that's right. We're doing hay, aren't we? So I do need to take a minute to get the hay baled up. We also have farming land for this season, and we have ground and iridot. I'm not sure what that means. All right, so let's get our windrower, or actually we'll get our tedder first. Oh, ground nut. For some reason, I don't know how to explain it. There's a little heart on my chat screen, and it covers the bottom right-hand corner of the chat window on YouTube, the YouTube chat thing here. And I guess it's just, I can give a response back and kind of give a heart or a like or whatever to whatever you say, which is great. I can't get it to go away. Like, it just exists. And so sometimes it covers up just the edge of whatever you're trying to say. So I didn't see the nut part. So ground nut. Gotcha. So peanuts. Yeah, peanuts are... I didn't know that peanuts were grown in India. Is it like the peanuts that we eat, or like the type of peanuts that we eat in, like peanut butter type of peanuts, or is it a different type of peanut? Like, obviously I know there's a lot of different types of ground nuts, right? So it could be like a variant that is slightly different. But I didn't know. That's pretty cool though. Actually, I'm kind of curious now. What is What is the most grown crop in India? Rice. Well, that makes sense. It makes sense that rice would be. Rice feeds more than half of the population. Counts for 1/3 of the country's food grain production. India is the world's second largest producer of rice, after China, of course. Interesting. You also grow sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, jute, and oil seeds, apparently. And cotton. I didn't know that. Y'all grow cotton as well. That's very cool. What is the most grown crop in the United States? Probably corn, right? Corn or wheat, I would imagine. Yeah, corn. Corn is the largest grown crop in the United States by total production. Corn is grown in all 50 states. Really? So that means corn is grown in Alaska and Hawaii. I can see Hawaii, but Alaska? That's interesting. Interesting. Oh, cool. And I love learning about new things. It's all very cool to me. Okay, I guess I could grab you to set up the windrower. Come on. All right, got you rolling. Once you get done, we'll get you set up with the baler. Rice is something they should probably add to this game, right? Or is there, like, what would that even look like? I actually don't know. I don't know enough about rice growth and production to know kind of what it would look like in the context of Farming Simulator. But I feel like if it's like that common in the world, like it's got to be on there somewhere. They got to add it. I think there's mods that add it, I want to say. I could be wrong about that. But definitely base game. It needs to be added. Or do you even, is rice harvesting and growth and all that stuff, is that even industrialized, or is it all just still, like, obviously you see I've seen the images of, you know, people working in rice paddies and stuff like that in China, which is obviously very manual, right? There's no machinery there, but I don't know if I've ever seen what a machine for rice harvesting would look like, if it does exist. I assume it exists. We got machines for everything else, but honestly don't know what it looks like. Rice farming is mostly manual. That makes sense to some degree, I suppose. I mean, I know there are other things that are pretty manual as well. Especially things that are like, is all rice? Let me see. Let me look this up because I am actually very curious now. Apparently in California, we do grow rice and we do use harvesters to harvest the rice. But apparently in a lot of other countries, it's more manual. So there does exist rice harvesting machines. But there's a lot of process, right? You gotta get the stalks and you gotta thresh it to separate the grain from the rest of the cut crop. You gotta clean it. There's a lot of steps to rice. Yeah, it's interesting. For being one of the world's, if not the most, you know, used crop in the world, it's kind of crazy to think that it's still that manual. I wonder why the windrower didn't get that little bit. A little strange. Hey Cameron, how's it going? What's one of my favorite DLC mod maps? I really like the Zelanka, which obviously came out with the premium expansion. I really like that map a lot. I do like the Swiss map that they added in, but that came out in FS19, so it's a little bit dated at this point. It's still a very cool map. I haven't really played a lot of mod maps. I think Valley Spring, I did play a little bit of that. It's a very cool concept. There are some drawbacks of that map that I've noticed after playing it, but it's still a very cool concept in general, I think. I don't know, I just enjoy some of the built-in maps in the game itself so much that it's hard for me to try out new maps sometimes, because every time I'm thinking about a new save, I'm thinking of how I will do it on like Elmcreek or whatever. Some very good mod makers out there though, so no, don't want to take away from the work that a lot of those mod guys do. It's some really good work. There was one I played in FS19 that I really enjoyed. I don't think I've seen it for FS22. And I actually don't even remember the name of it. I'll have to go back and look up the name of it. But it was like a European styled map. But I played on that one a lot in FS19. I might have done a Let's Play of it, so it might be on the channel somewhere. Come to think of it. It started with a B, I think. Just remember. Farming Simulator after seeing your videos. I am following what you're doing. Oh, cool. That's very cool, Sanjay. Well, hopefully you're able to learn from my mistakes, because I do make a lot of mistakes still. I'm not going to deny that fact. But I don't know, it's part of learning. Obviously, if you've watched me long enough, you know that there's certain steps that I do skip, because I've just decided that mathematically it's just not financially worth it. For example, I don't roll after planting crops. It's just not worth the extra, what, 2.5% or whatever it is yield. And I also don't do mulching. I used to do it early on in the very first, I think, Farming Simulator series that I did on Elmcreek. I did a lot of that rolling and the mulching. But after a while, I was just like, wait a minute. Let me do the math on this. How much am I actually making? Oh, it's just, it's almost like you never pay for the equipment. It just doesn't become worth it anymore for some reason. I do like to play with the precision farming. I know a lot of people don't. I personally, I kind of enjoy it. So that's a little bit of a difference, I suppose. But I think it's a lot easier to see a monetary benefit of the precision farming mod, right? Because if you do everything right, which it doesn't take that much, right? Put lime down, put fertilizer down, make sure you herbicide, use direct drilling, you know, as much as possible, things like that. It's very, in my mind, relatively simple, and most of that you were going to do anyway. And you get an extra, you know, up to 15% addition on your selling, you know, whatever you sell. I think it's worth it. So that's the reason why I like the precision farming. Because it adds things that you have to do that aren't that hard to do. And in my mind, makes them financially worthwhile. Let me get you out of the way, my friend. I will say that farming equipment in general, if the prices that they have in the game are, you know, representative of what prices would be in real life, farming equipment in general is just very expensive. You know? I mean, it's crazy how expensive some of this stuff is. And plus, you got to think about it. For most farmers are not farming because they're expecting to be millionaires, right? Like they're not doing it for the money. Like you're not making a lot of profit once it's all said and done off of farming. I mean, some years you have bad crop, you know, bad seasons. You know, the rain's bad. You know, get a drought or whatever. So it's always a risk. Some years, you know, fuel prices might go up, you know, whatever that year, and it's just more expensive to maintain your equipment and things of that nature. So yeah, doing farming is, you know, granted, I remember there were some seasons where my grandfather did really well, and we would get really, like, we would get, like, you know, nice Christmas presents or lots of money for Christmas or something like that to go buy whatever we wanted because, you know, he had a good season. And then the next season it might be, you know, it might be a very small amount of money, and, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, there are, you know, definitely times where you could benefit really greatly from whatever the season is. You know, you can get a good yield, but there's always risk, and there's always, and I feel like it gets harder every year for farmers, especially in the United States. It just feels like there's crackdowns on, you know, what kind of pesticides you can use and what kind of, you know, fertilizer you can use. And obviously, yeah, sure. I agree that we should be safer with our pesticides and herbicides and, or, you know, pesticides and fertilizers, and not use things that are harmful to the environment, harmful to us. But the fact of the matter is sometimes the harmful stuff is more yield. Like, so you're sacrificing yield, you're sacrificing profits to do the right thing. And I think that's you know, most farmers, I think, would do that. They want to, you know, protect the environment, you know, because that's the environment being protected is a big part of their job, but they're sacrificing increased yields as a result of that. So, and that obviously as more and more crackdowns on, like, things like that happen, it's hard. It's a challenge, but we need them. We have to have farmers. If everybody in the world that hates farmers and how much you know, pollutions they put in the air and whatever else excuses they come up with, if they got their way and we just stopped farming, we would go hungry. I guess that would fix the problem. If the world starved to death, then I guess there's no more pollutants in the air. So at some point, you've got to accept that some level of harm has to be done in order to have a greater good. And we just have to find a way to make the harm as minimal as possible. You know, if there's biofuels are more sustainable for the environment, then cool. Let's just switch to those, but we got to make them affordable. We can't just make biofuels cost twice as much or whatever, you know. I'm not saying that's how much they cost, but just saying if they're more expensive, then farmers can't make a living. Electric tractors, sure. If an electric tractor is doable, you know, on many fields, maybe it is, but on a very large field, I mean, you're going to have to charge up every other, you know, you're not going to be able to finish the field before you have to charge your tractor up. And then by the time you get, you know, everything cycled through, charged, you know, you can charge a little bit, harvest a little bit, charge a little bit, harvest a little bit. By the time you get that cycle done a few times, your crop's not good anymore. So, I mean, there's pros and cons, and we've just got to accept that in order for our world to exist, we've got to accept some negatives. My colleague period, I used to play in the mobile FS22. I don't remember. Oh yeah, college. Oh, in college you said? Yeah. I've never actually played the mobile farm simulator. I'd have to try it out sometime, see what that's like. I was about this game in PC Epic have free. Okay, so you got the free game on Epic. That's pretty cool. I'm glad that Epic put it out for free. That's awesome. Gets a lot more new people playing, new people. Well, I can say selfishly, new people watching my channel. So I can't go wrong with that. But no, it's really cool that they put it out for free. It's a good game. It's a fun game once you get used to it. It's a game that's hard to explain to people though. Like if I try to explain to my family, yeah, one of the games I play the most is me driving a tractor around and farming. Like it's a little bit of a weird explanation. I'm simulating life, and that's how I have fun. But no, it's a good game. Alrighty, is that everything? Cows are good. Chickens are a little bit light. In fact, the chickens are going to run out of food between now and tomorrow, which is just because I delayed the harvest, right? Because I just switched to sorghum. Normally, we would have already been harvesting the barley right now, but since I switched to sorghum, we've got one more month. So the chickens, unfortunately, are going to go hungry just slightly, but they'll be all right. They'll live. We'll give them some food later that day, and all will be well with the world. Used to play Grand Theft Auto, now Farming Simulator. That's funny. But those are very different games, that's for sure. Very different dynamics. I mean, obviously, if you watch my YouTube channel at all, which, I mean, you're talking on YouTube, but if you like to watch the videos that I have, the recorded videos I have, I play lots of different games. You know, I play Football Manager, I play Civilization, I play, you know, obviously Farming Simulator, I play, you know, other, like, fantasy strategy games and historical strategy games and other types of simulation games, things like that. I like lots of games. That's the reason why I love video games. I love the fact that video games allows you to, unfortunately, we're going to have to fast forward here and make our chickens even hungrier. But I love the fact that video games just allows you on any given day to be something different. Today, I want to be a general. Tomorrow, I want to be a farmer. The next day, I want to go steal cars and whatever else that you do in Grand Theft Auto that I will avoid mentioning because most of it is not worth mentioning on YouTube on a family-friendly channel. I have played Grand Theft Auto. I probably haven't touched Grand Theft Auto since San Andreas, like way back when, but I have played Grand Theft Auto, so I am obviously familiar with the goings-on. All right, let's fast forward to get past the rain, hopefully. There we go. Didn't take that much. And let's get our harvesters going. I guess we'll start with you. Now, I do think personally, now I'm not going to judge somebody who thinks that games like Grand Theft Auto are bad for people, right? If you say that, if that's your opinion, then you know what? I respect your opinion. I do think Grand Theft Auto is bad for children. children should not be playing Grand Theft Auto. But if you're a grown adult who can understand the difference between right and wrong and the difference between a video game and real life, then why not? Whatever. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But on that perspective, I think Grand Theft Auto can fill a void of, you know, every once in a while somebody wants to just go do something criminal, you know, why not? But it's a game, so who it shouldn't matter, right? It's a video game. So I think Grand Theft Auto and games like that have a place in the world, but you have to be careful about your audience, right? I think kids are susceptible to influences that they're just not old enough to understand usually. So I think as long as we keep them away from the kids, which that is, they try to, but then I think games like that are honestly perfectly fine and acceptable. You finished Ranch Simulator. How was Ranch Simulator? I've kind of looked at that a few times. I've never actually taken the time to actually buy it or try it out, obviously, but it looked interesting. So I'm kind of curious what your thoughts of it are. Man, the number of... I used to work at a video game store, right? Where we would, and similar to GameStop, but it was a different store. It wasn't GameStop. But the number of parents that would come in and buy the absolute worst, most violent and sexual-themed games for their 10-year-old kids, it was embarrassing. Like, it was like, really? What are y'all doing? Like... Come on. It's a 10-year-old kid. Like, do some research. Figure out what you're teaching your children, please. I mean, look, I do happen to be one of those people that I try not to tell other people how to parent their kids. So it may sound like that's what I'm doing. I'm not really doing that. I have an opinion. I'm not going to tell you how to parent your kids, though. You parent your kids however you parent your kids. But I do have an opinion of whether I think it's advisable or not. You play RP in Grand Theft Auto by using FIVM? I've heard of people that do RP in Grand Theft Auto before. I have heard of that. I know there's like websites and stuff like that. You can go online and get like missions and things of that, or something like that. Somebody would try to explain it to me one time. I'm not sure if I fully understood it, but I kind of get the idea, the concept. I know that there's ways to play RP in like Flight Simulator, for example, where you can actually accept flights on an online, you know, kind of quest hub, if you will, and actually simulate those flights in the game, which is really cool. We do need to fertilize. I just remembered on our grass fields. We'll get that here in just a minute. I just wanted to grab you. Get you doing the horizontal for a couple laps. All right, let's get... Oh, actually, not get you. Let's get you working on the fertilizing. Farm simulator or ranch simulator is kind of like production, like growing cows, pigs, chickens, hunting wild animals like deer, bears, wolves. They also have farming. That's really cool. I like the idea that the ranch simulator has like different aspects of that world, so to speak, right? I think that's really cool. Maybe I'll have to try it out sometime. All right, let's grab you. Go grab our trailer for the green. Get our chickens fed soon. They are starving. Hey, John Smith, how's it going? Found my channel because of my Railroad Corporation videos. I have a lot of fun with Railroad Corporation. I make a lot of mistakes in Railroad Corporation, and I have to restart some of the missions a few times, but I have a lot of fun with that game. I actually enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Railroad Corporation too, so hopefully I can do better with my mistakes in that game. Another game that I'm not very good at, but I really, really enjoy, and actually as soon as I finish the stream tonight, I'm going to go record some episodes for, is Against the Storm. I love that game. The game is so much fun, but I am not very good at that game right now. Hopefully I get better, but I love the game. I love the concept. It's so much fun. It's just, I make so many mistakes in that game. It's good, but it's easy to finish the game because you get a lot of money, but nothing to buy. Okay, well, that's interesting. I thought about trying to find a way to combine like this game and like the Hunter game or something like that. Other games to build out a story similar to what the Ranching Simulator does within the context of a single game. In fact, I've seen somebody do something similar to that where, like, you know, you're going to transport your goods, so you have to go load up, you know, Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator to transport your goods. Things like that. I think that's what makes, you know... What am I looking for? You. Okay. I was trying to confuse where I'm looking for. I think that makes games like, any game like this, any simulation type game, I think what makes it fun is to come up with a story. You got to have a story that makes it have purpose and a goal and a direction, right? I think that's what really makes these games fun. Which is why I really enjoyed the Zelonka Feed My Kids run, because I have a story of what I'm doing there, and it's really fun to do. So I just got to come up with more stories for some of these games. Figure out how I'm going to execute. You'd have the Hunter game? Yeah, I love that game. And the fishing game, the one that had the Call of the... Is it Call of the Wild or Call of the Fish? Oh, I forget the name of it now, but I have it. I've got a couple different hunting games. I actually like those hunting games a lot. I've played them a lot with a buddy of mine, which is really fun to do. Is just get with a friend and just go hunting together. Because half the time you're just sitting there talking while you're waiting for stuff to show up, and then you can kind of, you know, plan out your shots so that you're kind of picking off the two best deer in a herd or something like that. I don't know, it's just fun. I love playing games like that with people. Bought a few packs and didn't play for like 3 months now. Oh, I have most of the packs for the Hunter game, except for the newest ones. I haven't played it. I probably haven't played it in a year now, but I played it a lot early on when it first came out. I thought you was stopping, my friend. You uninstalled, installed Farming Simulator? Yeah. Well, it's a good choice. Farm Simulator's a good one. I've actually never played the American Truck Simulator or European Truck Simulator games yet. I think I would enjoy them, but I haven't never really got into it. Alright, let's go get our chickens fed real quick before they pretend to die of starvation. Sorry, little chickens. Oh yeah, now all your friends are playing Farming Simulator because Epic gave it for free. That's good. And by the way, I will highly recommend, if you've never tried Farming Simulator multiplayer, co-op, or anything like I think it's a great way to play this game. It is so much fun to play with friends, in my opinion. Just get a server. You know, servers are really cheap. You can get one for a couple bucks a month, which in my mind is cheap. Maybe for others it's not. But I think you might even be able to set up your own server or something like that, or play like locally hosted or whatever. But it is so much fun to play with friends. Just get so much more stuff done. Now, I usually play, when I play with my buddy, we always play on the same farm. So we're just kind of, you know, managing different tasks at the same time. Like he might be doing the harvesting while I'm taking care of the chickens or whatever. And so everything just kind of gets done. But I know there's also where you can play each your own farm and then kind of you can share equipment and stuff like that, which is really cool. I don't know. I think the multiplayer aspect of this game is really, really well done. And you can have lots of people on a map. I think you can have, is it at least 16? Or is it more than that even? You can have quite a few people playing a single map and just have a whole community playing, which is really awesome. Oh, let me get the fertilizer on the other end. Oh, wow. Normally you don't get all the way to the end. How did you get all the way to the end this time? Huh. Well, what changed? I have no idea what changed. Usually he misses the end bit here down here. I don't think I've ever seen him get the end bit. I'm kind of confused now. Alrighty, what else do we need to do? Let's get... Oh, I did not mean to unhook the trailer. I meant to bring the trailer back. That was a mistake. Lots of India gamers playing now. That's cool. That's awesome. What year are you in this playthrough? I am in year 18. I have a mod, if you go look up underneath the month up there on the top right-hand corner. I have a mod that actually shows the year as well, which is really cool. So we should be done with this playthrough by year 20. Because the goal right now is, now that we're making cakes, which we have our bakeries over there making cakes now. Now we're just trying to get to $1 million, and that's when I will call the save complete. Which I think we'll be able to get to $1 million by year 20. Which is not bad. Honestly, 20 years into a farming simulator game, I think that's a pretty good run. Oh, yep. Good evening, Johnny. How's it going? Any ideas on the next map? My next map will be, I don't remember the name of it, but it'll be the lumber map. Because I've never done lumber in Farming Simulator. I know it's a whole area of the game that's actually pretty well thought out, and I've just never done it. So I figured I'd try that on Livestream. We'll see how it goes. I might hate it so much that it doesn't last very long, but we're at least going to give it a shot. With the goal being, maybe, I think, isn't there a roller coaster you can build on that other map? If I remember correctly, there's a roller coaster, and that's going to be the goal, is to build the roller coaster. We'll see. I have no idea how it's going to go. Like I said, I might be absolutely miserable playing it, but I figured it'd be worth trying. Trying a different aspect of this game that I've never touched before. The most lumbering I've done is just chopping the trees around the outside of the field, right? Like, other people done, like, where you just back up a pickup truck, throwing a few, like, 3-foot logs or something like that. And that's the most I've done with lumber in this game. I've never used any of the actual lumbering equipment. And obviously they added a lot with the Platinum expansion around doing the lumber with the containers and stuff like that. They've got these containers that you can fill up with logs to kind of sell off and things of that nature. So we're going to see how it goes. And obviously with the roller coaster, I think you also have to mine ore, right? You have to actually do iron mining or something like that. I think there's an iron mine on that map, if I remember correctly. So we'll see how it goes. I have literally no idea. No concept, no idea. We'll at least give it a stream, a single night's stream. If I'm still having fun, we'll continue it. If I'm not, we'll pivot very quickly. How are we doing on water? I mean, we can start picking up some while we're waiting for these other things to happen. Cakes are doing okay. Probably have some strawberries get distributed now as well. How's the butter? Did we get the butter all filled up? We got the butter all filled up. So let's get you selling the butter. Cows. So chickens are good now, finally. They're unhealthy, unfortunately, but they'll be back. Cows are good for 1 more month of food. Wouldn't hurt to pick up some milk if we wanted to, but let's start with the water. Good luck, frustrating times. You need the right mods to make things easier to handle. Yeah, that's probably true. I probably need to look at that as well. Kind of what kind of mods we might need to make it work. I think there's like a lumberjack mod that allows you to pick up the logs by hand. I think for the most part, I'm going to try not to use it, but it might come in handy for those a handful of times where something's in an annoying spot and you just kind of need to move it over so that your actual equipment can pick it up, things like that. We'll see how it goes. Oh, thanks, Sanjay, for the membership. I appreciate that very much. Wow, we're already halfway through the stream. Time flies when you're having fun. By the way, anybody that's watching this or either live or on the VOD, I don't know how many people that watch my farming simulator content also watch my football manager content. Probably not very many, but you never know. I was supposed to stream football manager on Monday. I streamed for 5 minutes and then I couldn't get my computer to work for showing the video on the video game. So I had to cancel my stream, unfortunately. So if you were somebody who watched Monday, I apologize for that. I will be back next Monday for football manager. I was really looking forward to playing too. I was really excited, but it is what it is. I had to like restart the computer a couple times and I don't know. I think I actually had to pull the card back out and put it back in. I don't know what caused it to like just fail, but I got it working again. It's whatever. Computers are weird. Computers are amazing tools, but every once in a while they just break for no reason. Oh, just realized we got you fill up, so let's get you over there to help him out. Computers do cost a lot of money sometimes. They're way cheaper than they used to be, way back in the day, but they can't. I mean, they're still. We're talking, you know, for a decent computer, $1,000 or something like that for a decent gaming computer, at least $1,000. Now, most of mine cost way more than that, just because I love technology and my wife is kind enough to let me spend money on stupid, crazy, expensive things for no reason. It is what it is. But you can get a decent gaming computer for, you know, $1,000, $1,200, something like that. But even that, I mean, that's $1,000. I mean, if you compare that to a console, console's what, $300-400? So computers are definitely an investment that when they start breaking down, it just makes that investment more painful, right? But I love computers. I didn't have a computer for most of my early part of my life. I always had to use computers like at school or whatever. Like I remember my mom was always a teacher, an elementary school teacher, and so she always had like a little, like an Apple IIe or a early iMac, you know, or not iMac, but it was an early Macintosh, pre iMac. She had an early Macintosh in her classroom, and so I would beg her to let me stay as late as possible, and I would always be sitting there playing Oregon Trail and games like that. It was always so much fun. And then, you know, in middle school, I had a teacher who he had a computer in his office, and he would let me stay late and I'd play these submarine games or these flight simulator games, all sorts of games like that. It was almost so much fun. I didn't get a computer we didn't get a computer in our home until I think I was in high school, which, you know, because they just, you know, they're expensive. So I remember that computer my parents got. It was awesome. I played that thing so much and had a lot of fun with that. But I always had consoles. I did have a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, all that kind of stuff. I never really got into the PlayStation side of things until I got, you know, to adult age. But I always had like the, you know, a lot of some of the earlier Nintendos. What was I going to do? Oh, never mind. I guess we're just going to chill for a minute until we fill this up, and we'll drop it off at the place, the grain silo. My laptop was $1,200. Yeah. I mean, laptops are very convenient, and you know, again, $1,200 is a pretty good price for a laptop, honestly. If you compare it to something like 10 years ago, a decent laptop cost you $2,000 or something like that. You know, it's just, I mean, I know they got some even cheaper laptops than that these days. My kids all want laptops now. But if I buy my kids laptops, they're going to be like $400 laptops. I'm not buying them $1,000 laptops. Actually, my kids already have laptops. What am I saying? Schools issue laptops now. So all my kids got laptops issued in elementary school that they're supposed to carry with them all the way through high school. And so it's interesting that that's kind of where we're at with a lot of school districts, you know, issuing effectively permanent laptops to children to kind of help them as they're going through their schooling and stuff. Very cool. What's my favorite console? Oh, you said be right back. I'll wait till you come back. Good to get this harvest done here pretty quickly, and then we'll, I don't know, we'll see. We should be above 600K at the end of this cycle, maybe 700K. Like I said, I think we've only got a couple more years left of this save before we get to our $1,000,000. How you guys doing? Doing all right? Cool. That is all the water. Easy enough. Did I already say that the cows are okay? Yeah, cows are okay for one more month. Obviously chickens are filled up again. I guess we can grab you and go pick up the chicken eggs, make sure that's emptied out. Probably drop off some stuff for the bakeries as well, like sugar. Got a few games I'm looking forward to coming up over the course of the next few months. Put on the channel. There's a U-boat game called literally U-boat that I'm looking forward to playing because I really like submarine games. I used to play Silent Service? No. Something like that. I forget the name of it now. It's been a while since I played it, apparently. But I love those submarine games a lot. It's a lot of fun. And then, obviously, Frostpunk 2. That's not out yet, is it? I know there was a demo out a while back. I don't think the game itself is out yet, is it? I need to check that, actually. That's going to be a fun one to try out and play on the channel. Railroad Corporation 2. That's another good one coming up, hopefully, at some point. Obviously, eventually, they're going to be putting the next Farming Simulator game out, so I think we're all looking forward to that one. Next Civ 7 will be coming out next year. That's going to be good. Lots of good stuff. My laptop is an MSI Katana with a 4060. That's a good video card. 1 terabyte storage, very nice. i7, 32 gig. Yeah, that's actually really good. You got that for $1,200? That's pretty good, actually. That'll get the job done. I mean, there's very few games you would not be able to play on that, I think. Maybe some of the more modern games, but even then, you'd still be able to play them, just maybe not at max settings, obviously. But yeah. You asked what my favorite console was. Of all time, my favorite console is the Super Nintendo. I think I personally always loved the Super Nintendo more than N64. I felt like the N64 developers focused more on graphics than they did on game content and quality of video games. It's not 100% true across all games, obviously, but I think I just think the quality of games on N64 was just better because the graphics you had to tell more story. You had to make the gameplay better to just to counteract the lack of graphical quality. And I think the graphical quality was still good enough. I very much remember saving up all of my Christmas money so I can go buy my Super Nintendo. I think I got it with Donkey Kong Country was the game that had on it. And it was the very first game I ever finished all the way through, right? The first game I finished completely end to end, which was a really fun thing for me. But the games I played the most on the Super Nintendo were strategy games. There was a company called Koei? K-O-E-I? I don't know if they even still exist, honestly. But they made games like... I think they actually made, or at least they produced, or published, I should say, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms game on Super Nintendo, which I didn't really play Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but I played games like... There was a game called PTO, Pacific Theater of Operations, and there was like a PTO 2. So it was very much like World War II, but like playing in the Pacific area and things like that. So aircraft carriers, submarines, all that kind of stuff. And there was a couple other games like that. There was one called Liberty or Death, which was a Revolutionary War game, which was really fun. I enjoyed that one a lot. And then there was what else was there? There was I think it was a European version as well. I didn't play the European one as much as the Pacific Theater one for World War II, but it was a pretty cool game too. So I love games like that. Those are just almost to me like those are like the first kind of grand strategy games, similar to what Paradox does, but obviously a little bit different on Super Nintendo. So I really enjoyed those games a lot. But if you're going to talk more modern, I mean, I have an Xbox. Actually, I have several Xboxes. So I would say between Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, I tend to lean towards Microsoft these days. But I very rarely play console anymore, which is sad, I guess, but pretty much all my gaming, 99% of my gaming is PC. I should dig up those old Super Nintendo games and see if I could do a Let's Play series. I don't know if anybody would even watch them, but it'd be fun just to dig up some of those old school games I used to play and see if they... I guarantee they do not hold up. There's no way they hold up, but it still would be fun. I don't know. I've always loved video games, though. I mean, as far back as I can remember, just always been a gamer. I can't imagine a time where I won't be, right? Like, which is crazy to think about. Am I going to be 80 years old still playing video games? If I'm still alive and I can still see the screen, I can't imagine why I wouldn't be. But it's just kind of crazy to think about that, right? It's just, I don't know. I'll totally watch Love Nice Trip Down Memory Lane. Yeah, it would be cool. It'd be fun. We'll have to see. Like, I'd have to do it legal. I'm not going to go get like an emulator or anything like that for it, because I don't want to get in trouble for playing those games. So if I can find a legal version of those games, I don't know how easy that would be. I mean, I know some of those games might qualify for like abandonware type stuff, where whatever license is against them is kind of expired by now, because they're like, you know, 30-year-old games or something like that. But I don't know. I'd have to look at the legalities of it all. Like, obviously, I don't mind playing some of those old games myself. I just don't know if I can feature them on a YouTube channel, you know? So that's kind of where it's at. Like, personally, I don't agree with pirating games. If you do, it's your business. I'm not going to judge you. I just don't personally do it. But games that I own, like I own all those games on Super Nintendo. I just don't have a Super Nintendo that works anymore. So I own those games. I just can't play them. So to me, maybe it's splitting hairs, but to me, that's like, okay, fine. If I can find an emulator that allows me to play those games, I already paid for them. I do have them. I just, you know, they're not accessible right now. So to me, that's less of a concern. But I don't want to, you know, put that on a YouTube channel if it's going to break any issues or cause any issues. I mean. I should go drop you off real quick. Got a lot of stuff in here. I gotta remember to save basically 20,000 liters. Oh, sorry, no, less than that. We got 9,000 liters in there, so I gotta save 13,000 liters. I will also say that there's some games that I used to play way back in the day that if I go back and play them now, I realize that I wasn't very good at it then, or at the very least, I've forgotten how to be good at it. So I don't know. Some of those games aren't. I'm like, I gotta learn it again, which is fine. It's just I look silly trying to play a game that's like, okay, I should know how to play this better than I do. Like colonization, I remember being pretty good at colonization way back in the day, but if I go try to play colonization now, I don't play it. I can't play it very well for some reason. It's just I'm not very good at it these days. It just might be an out of practice and out of just not remembering the optimal kind of options and settings and builds and whatever else for things. Plus, I do know that like the newest colonization that they built off of Civ 4, I know that there's a lot of mods that make that game quite a bit better than the base game it was. Still working SNES. I actually have the one that came out with a while back. That's just got a collection of games on it in the little console, right? That you can just plug in to your, you know, the modern SNES. I have that, but obviously the games are limited what you have on there. Still some good games, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously Super Mario and all those other good games like that. Some really good games on it. I just, he doesn't have those strategy games because those are obviously more of a niche audience. I do remember this. I do have a really good story about those strategy games too, though. My dad, I don't know if he ever truly understood my passion for video games. You know, when I was a kid, I don't know if it was, I mean, he would play a few video games with me. He'd play like racing games with me, and, you know, we'd play some of the, you know, nowadays we'll play like some of the Tiger Woods golf and things like that because, you know, it's a game that he can kind of get into. But I don't know if he really ever understood like my super deep, you know, fascination, obsession with video games. But what he would do, I would tell him a video game that he would hear me talking about a video game that I wanted. For example, the Liberty or Death. I very distinctly remember telling him, because I would rent it from Blockbuster or whatever it was back in the day, you know, and I'd play it and I would love it, but then we'd have to give it back and then I'd have to rent it again whenever it came back again. And so I would love those games, and he knew I wanted them, right? And I remember my dad, like, he used to go without me knowing it. I didn't understand it at the time because I was, you know, very young, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever. And he would go to pawn shops, and he would go to dozens upon dozens of pawn shops. Anytime he saw a pawn shop, he would just go into it. And eventually he found like that game. And I remember the day he brought it home, and it was just, it made me very happy. But at the time, I did not understand what it actually meant, how much it meant about how he was, you know, he did that for me and how much effort it took to do that for me. It was, now that I look back on it, it's very, I don't know, it actually almost gets me emotional thinking about it. How cool a thing it was that he took all the trouble to find that. Because obviously back in Super Nintendo games, you couldn't download the game. I couldn't go online to download the game. And if it was a niche game like that, I couldn't just go to a store and buy it. So it was one of those kind of cool things that, I don't know, it was very, very awesome. Hopefully my kids have those types of memories about me as well. But the thing with my kids, though, if they want something, I usually could just go online and buy it. It's a different world that we live in now. So I don't know if the effort that I put into getting them the things that they want quite matches what my dad used to do. So it's a little different. Almost done with the fields here. All right. Obviously we're going to be getting more. Where is it at? There we go. More stuff here. We're selling all the flour right now. Is that what we want to do? I think it's okay. We still got almost 10,000. Actually, we do have 10,000 liters of flour in that one. So we got plenty of flour in both our bakeries. Need to drop off some eggs and strawberries. Oh, that's right. Did I ever set these? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're going to get the strawberries taken care of. We'll drop off some eggs before we sell those. But yeah, we can sell the flour for right now. All good. Actually, a console, I'm using quotes because it's not really a console, but a thing that I do play on quite a bit these days that is not exactly a computer, but it basically is a computer, is I love my Steam Deck. I think the Steam Deck was really well made, and I do play a lot of my computer games on the Steam Deck, so that's about the closest thing to a console that I play regularly these days that I can get. Am I still streaming on Twitch? Looks like I am. YouTube looks okay, but my own personal Twitch kind of playback is frozen. I think the Steam Deck is worth it, but you might want to look and make sure that the games that you are interested in can be played on a Steam Deck, right? Because some games just can't. You know, they just aren't. They're either not supported or they're only lightly supported, so to speak. And you got to think about it. Most of the Steam Deck is you're playing with a controller. So if it's a game that can't be played with a controller, it might be a little bit less useful. That being said, you can get a dock for your Steam Deck and plug in a keyboard and mouse, as far as I understand. And I haven't actually done it personally, but as far as I understand, you can do that as well. But no, I think it's worth it for the games that I play. Like you know, I've played Oxygen not included or whatever it's called. I played that on Steam Deck and it works really well. I've been playing Brotato a lot. I don't know why. It's just fun to play on my Steam Deck. I have loaded up Assassin's Creed on my Steam Deck and it plays really well. Like some of the newer Assassin's Creed games. I'm surprised at how well it plays on the Steam Deck. So I think it's worth it if you find enough games that you would be interested in that can be supported by the Steam Deck. I think it's worth it. If my kids were more into computer games, it would definitely be worth it. Because I know they would, like on long road trips, stuff like that, they'd play that thing all the time. But they prefer more of the Minecrafts and the Switch games and stuff like that. Duck you over here, let the other guy finish up while I empty you out. I guess you're a little bit more narrow, so I'll have to do that little strip. That's all right. So I think it's technically harvesting this little, you can't see it, but there's like a little strip on this left edge here that it technically is harvesting right now. All right, let me just let you pick up this last little bit here. Oh look, the other harvester's coming back to meet me. What kind of it? There's actually a lot of devices like those Steam Decks. I know Asus has one, right? I think Logitech has one, maybe. Somebody else has one that I've seen recently. Personally, I've felt them all, like how they feel in my hands, and I personally like the way the Steam Deck feels the most. But I'm sure different people with different size hands will enjoy some of the other ones more. And I also don't know the quality, like how good the quality is of those other ones. I mean, I assume if it's Asus, it's decently high quality. call that good enough. Rest is for the chickens. All right, let's get you guys parked and we're good to fast forward, I think. About an hour left in the stream. See how much more we can get done here. Cool. All right, that is done. So next time we need to do anything with the fields will be sorghum April. So we got a long time before we do that. Cows are good. Chickens are good. And the next thing we got to sell is eggs in November. And then when's the cakes again? I don't know why I keep forgetting when cakes are. January. Okay. Let's fast forward. Alrighty, let's get cows fed. This out of the way. Actually, let me just go pick up some eggs while we've got it. Chop that off. Let's grab you. Go take care of the cows. I think the next time I do cows, I will be buying the giant cow pasture thingamajigger that has the automatic feeding, because I've never tried it. I want to see what it's like. So whenever I do a story in the future that requires cows, we'll have to try that one out at some point. We can hold off on the straw, so we'll just give them food. Remember a while back that Steam came out with a Steam controller, if I remember correctly. And I bought it because I was curious about it. I didn't like it. I thought the Steam controller was not I don't know, just it felt like it was clunky a little bit to me. But that's why I'm glad that the Steam Deck itself is, even though it has some similar elements to it, because it does have like it still has some clickable touchpads, if you will, that you can kind of use as mice, but also click on them and stuff like that. That was on that Steam controller. I think it's just better executed on the Steam Deck. So I've been, like I said, I've enjoyed it so far. Oh, see you later, Cameron. How's it? Have a good night or morning, whichever. Alrighty, cows are fed. Probably should pick up some milk. I guess we could do some slurry while we're at it. Let's do that. Hopefully before the end of the stream we can get to the point where we can sell the eggs and the cakes. Kind of see where we're at dollar amount. It'll help me determine whether or not we'll be finished in the next stream or if we'll need another one after that, I think. We're close though. Whatever it ends up being, we are very close. And I remember when we got this white tractor, it has worked out quite nicely. Been a very good addition to the run. Actually, have we run this one more than the red one? No, we've run 77 hours on the red one, 63 hours on this one. Although they were both used, so technically I think they had some hours already on them. Guess we can look on here and see how long we've actually had them. So the Volvo we've had 222 months, so almost we have had that one the entire time. And then what's the other one? Ultra. 181 months. So we got it 40 months after, so almost 4 years into this run, we got the Vulture. Wow. And I remember it being that delayed from the beginning. much slurry do we actually have? 26, so 3 more trips and then we'll be done with that. Obviously, month of October, we'll be mowing again and harvesting, or baling for silage, I mean. I don't know. It's funny how entertaining Farming Simulator is, even though it really is a lot of repetitiveness. There's a lot of repeated actions in this game, but still somehow enjoyable and entertaining. All right, let's get these dropped off. We need one more load, or is that it? One more load. I mean, obviously, it would have been nice to have a larger tanker here, so we take less trips, but that's all right. This close to the end, we'll just accept it is what it is and move on. Just occurred to me that this tanker right here, it's 8,200 liters, holds the same amount as our milk trailer here. Feels like our milk trailer should hold more. It's definitely looks bigger to me. Same length, but larger diameter. Guess this is about the same size as this water trailer. In fact, actually, I was going to say it's almost the exact same model, just a different trailer attachment to it. I mean, I guess to be fair, how many different models can you use for a steel cylinder? Alrighty. That is done. Let's get you dropped off. And I guess fast forward and get ready to mow. Alrighty, let's go. Again, my goal, hopefully we can get a January in this run. I think we should be able to, right? Because all we got to do is mow and bale silage. That's the only like field type of activity we really got to do between now and January. So my guess is we'll end the stream right as we start seeding. Let's grab you to do the mowing. Let's fast forward to get past the rain and get some daylight here. All right, get you rolling. We need to feed the cows again. I also need to get them some straw. These cows will just stop eating. We wouldn't have to feed them so much. They need a lot of food. This is only, what, 25 or 40 cows? What? How many do we have? 45? I forget how many things holds. 20, 37, yeah, 45. Which I think the bigger ones held 80, I guess it is, so almost double. Oh, I need more straw. Okay, go with that. Get straw dropped off. Get the TMR rolling. How you doing over here? Doing all right. Cool. Get this dropped off. This will be good. So October we're mowing. November we're fertilizing. December nothing. Although also November we're selling eggs. Alrighty, good stuff. I'll take care of the cows. We need to pick up some eggs in a minute. How are we looking on cake output? Probably good to pick up the cakes just before I forget. It's crazy how long that sugar's lasted us. I mean, to be fair, the cakes don't produce at a very high rate, so if we were doing something like chocolate, I assume that would have gone through all the sugar by now. Guess we'll find out how fast the chocolate consumes sugar, because in our Zalanka run, we are finally switching over to the chocolate. Come on, bakery, you can do it. There we go. 2 more. All right, let's grab you, get you doing some wind rowing real quick. While I finish picking up the cakes, then we'll start baling. All right, get this rolling. Then we will grab, like I said, we'll grab the rest of the cakes. And then we'll bail, and then we'll be done. For this month, at least. Come on, little cakes, let's go. There we go. 2 more? 2 more. Alrighty, that should take care of that. We'll grab our baler and we'll be done with that shortly. It's nice that that one little grass field, well, I guess two combined technically, but that grass field has been just enough to take care of our cows. I think a tiny bit of left over. What was our first year that we sold cakes? I actually don't remember. I think is there a piece of equipment that we got around the cake time? I mean, it was shortly after we did the cows, right? Because the cows were our last, kind of one of the last bits of products that we had to make. Let's see. I think it was that Anderson Group A950. That's our TMR mixer, right? So we've had that for almost 4 years. So we've only had the cakes for looks like maybe 4 years or a little bit less than that. Feels like longer actually. Guess we did have the one bakery doing bread for a while. I don't think we get to 1,000 bales before the end of this run. We're at 871 right now, which you guys can just barely see below my head. We're at 871 total. That's counting the ones from the contract, of course. I don't know. I have my doubts. If we were still doing straw, I think we would have gotten there. But since we're not doing straw, I don't think there's any way we get there. Yeah, no, we'll hit 900. There's no way we hit 1,000. There's just we're not getting enough bales off the grass. Good. It's getting late. Starting to yawn. Our little tedder. Let's grab this last row and we're good. We're being close to a finished bale, but I don't think we quite get it. Nope. It's alright, we'll finish it next time. Okay, let's get you parked off. Pick up these bales, then we're ready to fast forward to November, sell some eggs, and go from there. Alright, grab a couple bales of silage here. Still got about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 8. 8 is what we got. That is perfect. I think I've said this before. Once we get to $1 million bucks, what we will probably do is sell everything we got just to kind of see what our overall net worth is. Probably not a lot because I don't think our equipment's that valuable. Alrighty, that is that. Let's go November. I'll have to get some more fertilizer before we finish this run. All right, get you rolling. Cows are going to be okay. Chickens are okay. Flowers all sold. Strawberries, I think we're capped on both, so we're good to switch those back to selling. And then a little more milk. We can drop off some eggs, obviously, this month. So it is time to sell eggs. Let's see here. I'm in the bakery, but it's not really helpful. I guess we'll go to the farmer's market, 1404. It's not bad. Weird. Audio cut out for a minute. It was looking weird. Alright, see how many eggs we actually got. Not a lot. And we did have that one mishap where we were full and I didn't realize it. I don't think we got quite as many eggs as we had then, but that's okay. We got a pretty good number. So we get some good money from all this. Okay, got all the eggs. Let's get you over to the farmer's market. Have you start driving while I get the guy fertilizing stuff kind of finished up. Did you actually finish it again? Wow, I don't know what changed. How is he suddenly smart enough to finish it? Sure why the tractor noise keeps cutting out. It was doing that a while back, but it hasn't been done in a while. And we can still hear all the other, like, you know, other effects. So it's not the game, it's just the tractor noise itself. Should be, what, about 30,000 bucks? I'll put us halfway to our goal. Not bad. Although we did start the stream with, what, 400k? We haven't really gained much this stream, but we are just now selling the stuff that's going to give us the most money, so I guess it's to be expected a little bit. $32,000? Nice. I think we'll be over 600k once we sell the cake. We're pretty close to it. So yeah, I guess at that rate, it's a couple more, still a couple more streams to get to 1 million, which is fine. All right, get you dropped off. Finish the fertilizing's already done. We have anything to do with the cows? Cows are okay. Chickens are okay. So yeah, let's get this dropped off and then we can fast forward. Which bakery was a little bit shorter on flour? The first bakery. We can drop off this other pallet over here to them. It'll kind of even things out a little bit more. All right, cool. That'll take care of that. Well, let's go. December kind of a dead month for us, so really January, like I said, when we sell cakes, should be our next month of activity, other than feeding cows, which I'm assuming we're going to have to feed in December. Yeah, good on straw, they do need food, and then of course we can probably drop off some milk and slurry as well. Sorry, I think I said they need straw. They don't need straw. I can't remember what I just said. I'll fast forward a little bit, just get some daylight here. just realized my fork is inside the container. Oh well. So we're getting better at feeding the cows relatively quickly. All right, get the milk dropped off, get some more butter to sell, drop off some slurry, and we're good to get to January and sell some cakes. Was it March for sorghum? April. Sorghum planting. One more load of milk. They're selling the butter. Yes. Yes. So obviously selling the butter straight from the factory is not as valuable, but not about, I mean, we're selling the cakes, so that's really where we're trying to get most of our money from. The rest of this stuff is just kind of supplemental income, really. That's why I don't really care as much that we're not getting maximum value from them. I like this dairy too. It's really cool looking, in my opinion. Hey Ash, how's it going? Glad you could join. Cool. All right, that's the milk. Let's get some slurry and ready to go from there. I missed that. Oh well. We got about three more trips of slurry after this one. In the future, I should be getting, like I said, it's not worth it in this particular save, but in the future, I'll remember to get a bigger slurry container. Make these trips a little bit quicker. Problem is that some of the other slurry containers do get pretty expensive pretty fast. Got one more after this, right? Yes, one more after this. Cows sure make a lot of slurry, don't they? They are very productive from that end. All right, that is that. We'll get us a little bit of money. Every little bit helps at this point. All right, that's good. How are we looking on everything else? Chickens are okay for now, though we will need to feed them here in a minute. Let's try kind of over that direction. Might as well go ahead and get them fed now, I guess. Alrighty. Well, let's fast forward. Get to January, we'll sell some cakes, and pretty much all we're doing in January, I think. Well, we might have to feed the cows again. We'll check that. Before I pick up the cakes, let's grab some eggs, get them set off to the side. And just make sure it's set back to full only. How much cake do we actually have? 21, 25. Yeah. So the 2 that are out there, and we'll pick up 5 more. So 7 total from each. One more. Let's go. Come on. Come on, bakery. You can do it. There we go. I'm assuming we're selling this probably at the grocery store. No, restaurant. Right across the street. Nice. Oh, wow. It's the first time we've had more than a full load. This should be our best cake selling month yet, hasn't it? I think so. Have we had a full? I don't think we've had more than a full load before. No, we hit that pipe. All right, there was 92,000. We got a couple more over here, so nice. It's not bad. Almost 100K total. Actually, we might be at 100K once I sell these last 2. It's definitely our best cake selling month yet. Just in time to end the stream, actually. Got 92 plus another 3. $95, not bad. Almost 100K. Cool. Well, we're at 62, basically almost 63% of the way to our $1 million goal. Definitely, I think we'll definitely finish it in 2 streams. We might, I don't think we finish it next stream. We'd have to get all the way back around to cakes again, and I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think 2 more streams at least. Pretty sure it'll be good to go. Because we got about 400, 200,000 in this stream. We'll get another maybe 200 grand next stream, and then 200 after that. So yeah, I guess 2 more streams. So, but I appreciate everybody that came out, everybody that participated and whatever. Or if you're just watching the VODs, I appreciate that as well. As usual, I try to read any comments that you put. So if you do want to comment on the VODs, feel free. I will try to read those. And my next live stream will be Saturday. We're going to be starting up a brand new game with Ludwig II of Germany in Civilization 6. And we'll be back to Football Manager on Monday, and then we'll be back to Farm Simulator next Wednesday. So I do appreciate everybody. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time.